speak in voices strong and loud. Dreams like fire can't be doused. You built the world, but we hold the torch. A brighter future's what we're working toward.
Howdy Daydreamer, and welcome to Dakota Daydreams. I'm Dakota, and this week we're checking out the Bedside Garden, episode 21. And this week I tried using an AI generator to make us a little bit of music to go on the episode, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. So far, this lettuce is still doing great and keeps growing back faster than I'm pulling off of it, so that's awesome. And I'm still not entirely sure what kind it is, but it tastes good, so that's a bonus. But this mango melon keeps kind of growing into either the fig cuttings or the front of the hydroponics, and it's making the leaves think that they're touching dirt, or act like they think they do at least. So I really want to try and uppot it soon, but I have to find like a good spot to have it that would be safe from critters messing with it, because I've had it this long and I don't want it to just get torn up by a critter at this point. And the main reason it's starting to get as spindly as it is mostly because it's still inside and I don't really get good sunlight where I have it. All it's got is the light off the hydroponics, really. And it's not doing as well as the marigold with that. But the marigold is doing really great. It has 2 spent flowers to come off of it this week, and at least a half dozen little flower buds starting to come up. So some plants do really well like this, and other plants need other solutions found. But the first year of gardening is all about learning which plants are which. And this one Cherokee purple that was growing sideways for a little bit is still not really securely rooted to the sponge. Like, it has roots, they're going through it, but it's not really stable. So I might have to make a tomato cage for it out of toothpicks. And it looks like one of the other cups is starting to get a little icky, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that out real quick. Indeed it was, but now that that's cleaned up, it's time to share catalog of the week. And this week, it's High Mowing Organic Seeds. They open up with this lovely little introduction and all of their contact right in the front. And I think that's very, very helpful, because if I have a question about something I've ordered with a company, I like to be able to find everywhere. You could cut that out and put it as a bookmark in an address book or some such. And yes, I do still keep an address book. But my favorite part of this page is that they share that they think of seeds as a tiny archive of the past, storing information about who and where we've been. And I think that too. That's one reason I've always been so fascinated by seeds since I was very, very young, because not only are you growing something, you're able to see what generations of gardeners have grown before. And I think that's one of the most fascinating ways that humans share the past with each other. And then, very close to the front of the catalog, I was really impressed with their variety of beets, because in addition to the reds and the ones that have been pretty much everywhere, they have 3 different varieties of golden beet, dark purples, and white beets. And I've always thought beets sound interesting, but if anyone knows of some cool recipes for them, please drop it down below in the comments, because I have yet to actually fully try a beet. Can you eat them fresh? I feel like I've seen it before in a movie, but I don't know if you're supposed to. And then, of course, the corn variety. Now, originally I took this picture because I thought the glass gem popcorn was cool, because I've seen glass gem corn, but I haven't seen like the popcorn little tiny ones, I don't think. But then I noticed, A, the top dancer is really, really cool yellow and red corn. And then it clicked that there's a Dakota black corn. I found my name in the picture. And just because of that, I probably will grow that corn one day. I feel like I have to, you know? And then among their many varieties of cucumbers, they have a silver slicer, which is a white, silvery cucumber that's like one of the large slicer varieties. And I don't think I've seen a white cucumber anywhere before. Not that I can remember at the moment, anyway. They also have several varieties of Asian greens, including a scarlet tatsoi. I've seen tatsoi before, but I don't think I've seen the scarlet one. And it looks a little bit like the red of winter type lettuces with the speckling of the red, but it looks like it would be pretty tasty, you know? And then I found their microgreens page. And High Mowing has a pretty extensive variety of microgreens and includes pictures of at least one or two of each of the types of varieties they have microgreens in. But there's also like several lists of different varieties they have available of everything. And while I don't quite have the space to set up microgreens yet, they are something that I'm heavily considering slash building plans for and thinking of spaces that could grow microgreens. And then I reached their salad pages. And I think that salad bowl lettuce does look a lot like what I'm growing. And between that and their next page being a spread of how different lettuce leaves look, I'm comfortable being 90% sure and saying I'm probably growing green salad bowl right now. And I think I like it. And then we reach their order form, which is located right beside the okra. And that burgundy okra is really pretty. I don't know if I'll personally grow okra, because my personal issue with okra is a texture thing from the substance that forms around the seeds. I don't really know how to describe it. So if anyone's aware of a variety of okra that doesn't do the oily thing around the seeds, that would probably be the one I'd try first. And then high mowing seeds, close to the end has their seed crops or things like the onions that usually you don't have the seeds, but like a seed crop of them, like the tiny ones. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what it made sense to call it in the moment. Either way, they have a large variety of onions, and I didn't even know where to start with this page. The Ailsae Craig are a very large sweet onion variety. They also have the Valencia, which are the ones I grew up getting from the stores, like the go-to sweet onion. So I'd definitely be interested in trying to grow those when I have like root crop space. But they also have the red long of Florence on the other side. which is another onion that I've been very interested in for a very long time because it's supposed to be really good for a lot of things. And it's already a really slim variety of onions, so it's easy to chop up for soups and such. And then in the potatoes, they had not only the, Yukon Gold and whatnot, the white and brown skin potatoes, but they also had these Amarosa red potatoes with red skin and also like a little bit of red or purpley color on the inside. But I was really interested in the French fingerling potatoes. Um, because small potato, easy to cut up for a soup, but also it's got the red purpley outside, a layer of white flesh, and then a red inner layer. And I don't know, that just seems like a really fascinating potato to me, and I think it would make a really fun variety for baked potatoes or cut up in soups to have a little more color in it. And then there's the pumpkin section, and they have these long pie pumpkins that are mostly orange, but they have some green on them, which I honestly think in pumpkins is sun protection, if I'm remembering that correctly. And that's a lot of pumpkin, but it's long, so it looks like it would be easier to carry, if that makes sense, because you could lay it over and scoop it. So I might try those in the future as well. And then towards the very, very end is their flower section. And I noticed these single red corn poppies. And I don't know if these are supposed to grow wild anywhere, but I've definitely seen a small flower very similar to this all over the place as spring kind of turns into false summer, if that makes sense. Because I live around East Coast, United States, and it's like the lower mid South region. It's not really spring. It's either summer or late winter, and there's not really an in between, it feels like. And then their last page is cover crops. All kinds of different cover crops, from the ryegrass and oats to field peas. They have an understory mix that has clovers and several other things. And while I've never tried cover crops personally, based on things I've read about them, I definitely want to when I can save up and get some land because it helps make the soil healthier. Check it out. And if you'd like to grab your own copy of the High Mowing Organic Seeds catalog, the link will be down below in my description. And I honestly forgot about making a thing for the Cherokee Purple Tomato seedling, but it does seem like it's sort of figured it out as long as I'm careful not to bump it while it's still trying to get its grip. And it's time to fertilize the hydroponics again. So I'm gonna mix up the blue fertilizer I got a little while ago in this cup, but I'm also thinking it's been quite a long time since I've added more nutrient than was already in the plants back into the potted plants. So I think I'm gonna give them a little bit of a sprinkle when I water those as well. Now, for plants and soil, I'm pretty sure the box it did say just sprinkle it on top and water in. But I also didn't reread it today, so definitely double check that before trying to copy, because this is another experiment. We're seeing how this works. Because also, I don't really think they fully intended you to have a garden and potted plants, but also it does say it's good for garden vegetables, which is why I got it in the first place. So, I'm gonna give it a try and we'll see how it goes. I also totally forgot to up pot this mango melon this week. I just didn't get around to it. But also, I have had thoughts of maybe topping it and keeping it here just to make sure no critters mess with it. Now, I don't want to permanently top it, but I also don't want it to get so big it chokes itself out before I up pot it. So I think what I'm gonna do over the next week is either like see how it responds to the fertilizer in the pot, and if it gets more green, go ahead and top it, keep it right here, let it grow somewhere I can keep an eye on it. But if it's still kind of yellowy looking, I'm gonna go ahead and get it moved in the next week, I think. And until then, I'm just gonna try to get it to stay on its little stilts in here so that it can get the most amount of sunlight to the leaves I can possibly give it. And this green salad bowl lettuce, I'm pretty sure, is doing great, even though the water level had gotten really, really low. Um, and some of the plants around it have started to go iffy. The plant started to get strong enough that it's got its own immune system. It's fighting off the ickiness, which is great because I think at some point the hydroponics had gotten unplugged and I don't think I'd remember to turn the filter back on. So I did have to put about half a liter's worth of hydrogen peroxide into it just to help keep the water from having anything icky built up from that happening. But the roots on it are looking really good, and as much as I want to look at them more, I'm kind of scared to lift them up more because I don't want to get them pinched somewhere. Because I'm pretty sure that's how I've lost a couple of plants, is trying to mess with the roots and keep moving them around after the root system has come in. And one of the roots gets pinched or something. But it's got the little roots on top and then all kinds of roots coming down that are much longer. And even the smaller plants are starting to get a root system. And I'm not really sure what the one between the Cherokee tomatoes is, because there's the Cherokee tomato in front, and then the one that's still a stick in the back, and the one that I thought was a Cherokee tomato last week has to be something else, because I only started two of them, I thought. I'm not sure, but we'll find out as it grows, probably, because it always tells you what it is as it grows up. Did you know that 21 weeks is 5 months and 1 week? I've been gardening for almost half a year, and I think it's really cool that I've already successfully gotten 3 different flowers of fruit and 2 vegetables to at least sprout, start, and get to an identifiable stage. Maybe 4 vegetables if I count the Cherokee tomatoes, because they're almost identifiable as what they are, but they're still very baby seedlings. And I think it's amazing that just deciding, yeah, I'm gonna try this, and then trying it and keeping it going. Not only do I have a garden, but I've started a YouTube channel around it, and then I've also started to share other things. And it all started because I tried to seed. It's awesome. Well, that's my rambling for the week. Now it's time for Flowers Everlasting 2025, where I tell you about the challenge to take a picture of a temporary flower, any temporary flower, and share the story that goes along with it. Did you find it on a walk? What were you doing? How did you feel that day? How did finding the flower change how you felt? Or just share with us what a rare vegetable or fruit or whatever type of flower looks like. Because there's a lot of flowers that no one's ever really seen. Most vegetables, we just look for the vegetable or the fruit after the flower. And hashtag Flowers Everlasting 2025 is about taking a second for the flower because that flower took a second so we could have something to eat. And I'll also share honorable mentions when I see others working on their gardens or just vlogging and talking about flowers or some type of flower that impacted their day or something. And this week, I've honestly had another one of those weeks where I've been really stuck in my head and having a bit of difficulty getting out into the gardens to find flowers. But that's another reason I started this challenge so that one day in the future, people having days and weeks like that can just pop in the hashtag with the current year, a previous year, whatever year they need smiles from, and have a list of flowers and happy stories and maybe even learn what an eggplant flower looks like. You know? It sounds fun to me, so I thought I'd share. Thank you for dreaming with me. If you'd like to see the garden journey from the very beginning, check out the Bedside Garden playlist. And if you would like to check out the full versions of either of the songs that I made with AI today, check out the link down below in my description. And until next time, take care of yourself and keep your head in the clouds.
Different hearts, but the same cries. Together we can see